The Velithian Empire stretched across 47 star systems, and at its heart sat Empress Elsa, whose very name caused entire species to tremble. Her crystalline exoskeleton shimmered with an iridescent purple hue, and her 4 eyes could perceive across 17 different spectrums of light. She had conquered worlds through strategic brilliance and ruthless efficiency, never once requiring the crude barbarity of ground combat. Her fleet spoke for her. An entire civilization surrendered at the mere sight of her battle formations darkening their skies. For 3 centuries, Elsa had ruled without challenge. The Velithians were a perfect species, genetically engineered for intelligence, longevity, and cultural superiority. They existed in controlled environments, their bodies fragile but their minds unmatched. They had eliminated disease, violence, and chaos from their society. War was conducted through drones and artificial intelligences, keeping their precious forms far from danger. Then came the humans. The species had appeared on the galactic stage only decades ago, and already they were a problem. They called their planet Earth, though the Velithian databases classified it as Deathworlder Class 12, a horrifying designation reserved for planets where survival itself was a daily battle against impossible odds. Humans had evolved in gravity that would crush a Velithian's delicate bone structure. They breathed an atmosphere so oxygen-rich it was practically corrosive. Their world teemed with predators, diseases, and natural disasters that would exterminate any sensible species. Yet humans had not only survived, they had thrived, and now they had ventured into the stars. Empress Elsa had dismissed them initially. Barbarians with crude technology, barely worthy of attention. But when a human colony ship had inadvertently crossed into Velithian territory, she had done what she always did, sent an ultimatum: surrender or be destroyed. The humans had responded with a single word: no. Now, standing in her throne room aboard the Imperial dreadnought Eternal Dominion, Elsa faced the consequences of that defiance. Her military council had assured her that the human settlement on Kepler 442b would fall within hours. That had been 3 weeks ago. Casualties, she asked, her voice like crystal chimes. Her military advisor, Commander Thex, displayed the holographic data with trembling appendages. 47 drones destroyed, 12 AI cores corrupted by their cyber warfare, and, he hesitated, they have captured 3 of our reconnaissance vessels intact. Elsa's exoskeleton darkened, a Velithian expression of profound displeasure. How is this possible? They have no fleet, no orbital defenses of consequence. They're fighting from the planet's surface, your radiance, using the environment as a weapon. Our atmospheric analysis failed to account for their adaptability. That was when the communication came through. A human face appeared on the main display, rough, scarred, with patches of hair on its face that Velithians considered grotesque. Its eyes were a startling blue, and they held no fear. "Empress Elsa," the human said, his voice deep and steady. "I'm David Ray's Colonial Defense Coordinator. We need to talk." The throne room fell silent. No one addressed the Empress so casually. No one survived such disrespect. But Elsa found herself curious. "You dare contact me directly, human?" David smiled, an expression that showed his predator's teeth. "Your ships keep shooting at us. Figured we should have a conversation before this gets out of hand." "Gets out of hand?" Elsa's voice rose. "I have 47 star systems under my command. You have 1 primitive colony. You cannot win." "Maybe not," David agreed, "but you can't win either. Not without costs you're not willing to pay." He leaned forward. "You want to know why? Because you've never fought anyone who evolved on a death world. We're not like you, Empress. We're not fragile. We're not afraid of getting hurt. Hell, getting hurt is just Tuesday for us." "Barbaric posturing," Elsa dismissed, though something in his tone unsettled her. "Is it?" David gestured, and the display shifted to show footage of human soldiers operating in conditions that would kill a Velithian in seconds. Toxic gas, extreme temperatures, crushing pressure. Our planet tried to kill us every day for 3 million years. Predators, diseases, other humans. We learned to adapt, to endure, to keep fighting when any rational species would quit. You know what we call that?" Elsa said nothing. "We call it being human." David's expression softened slightly. "Look, I've read about your empire. You're not evil. You're actually pretty fair by galactic standards. You want order, stability, peace. I can respect that. But you've never had to fight for survival the way we have. You've never had to look at impossible odds and decide to fight anyway just because." "Then you choose extinction," Elsa stated coldly. "No," David said firmly. "I choose negotiation, face to face. You and me. No weapons, no tricks. Just two people trying to figure out how we can coexist without killing each other." The military council erupted in protests. Commander Thex was nearly incoherent with shock. "Your Radiance, this is madness. He could be planning an assassination." But Elsa raised a hand for silence. Something in David's words had struck a chord. For 3 centuries, every species had either submitted or been destroyed. None had ever proposed. Talking. "Very well," she said. "I will meet you, David Rays of Earth. But know this. If you make one threatening move, my ships will turn your colony to glass." "Understood," David replied. "I'll be waiting." The meeting took place on a neutral space station, in a chamber specially prepared with dual environments. On one side, the perfect controlled climate the Velithians required. On the other, the harsh conditions humans found merely uncomfortable. Elsa saw David in person for the first time and was struck by how substantial he was. Humans were dense, their bodies packed with redundant systems, their muscles designed for a gravity well that seemed designed to crush life rather than nurture it. He wore simple clothing and carried no visible weapons, though Elsa suspected his body itself was a weapon in ways her species couldn't comprehend. They sat across from each other, separated by a transparent barrier that maintained their respective atmospheres. "Thank you for coming," David began. "I came to understand my enemy," Elsa replied, "not to negotiate surrender." "I'm not your enemy," David said, "and I'm not here to surrender, I'm here to offer an alternative." He pulled up a holographic display showing star charts. "There's a whole galaxy out there, Empress. Enough room for both our species. You don't need our colony. It's one planet in unclaimed space." "I need absolute control," Elsa countered. "That is how peace is maintained." "Is it?" David challenged. "Or is it just how you've always done things?" He leaned forward, his intensity palpable even through the barrier. "We're not afraid of you, Elsa. Not because we're stupid, but because we've faced worse. Our own planet was a harsher mistress than any Empress could be, but that doesn't mean we want war." For the first time in centuries, Empress Elsa felt something she hadn't experienced since her youth: uncertainty. This human, this Deathworlder, wasn't trembling before her power. He was offering her something no one had before: a choice. "What are you proposing?" she asked carefully. "A treaty," David said. "Mutual recognition. We stay out of your territory, you stay out of ours. Maybe eventually trade, cultural exchange. Who knows?" He smiled again, and this time it seemed less predatory. "You might find that humans make better friends than enemies." Elsa considered. Her empire had been built on the principle that order required absolute control. But watching this human, scarred, solid, unafraid, she realized that absolute control might not be possible with a species that simply refused to break. "Your kind fascinates me," she admitted. "You should not exist. Your world should have destroyed you." "It tried," David acknowledged. "But we're stubborn like that, it's kind of our thing." And in that moment, something shifted in Empress Elsa's understanding of the universe. Perhaps there was more than one path to peace. Perhaps strength came in forms she had never considered. "Very well, David Rays of Earth," she said, her exoskeleton shifting to a lighter hue acceptance in Velithian body language. "I will agree to your treaty, but know this, I will be watching your species closely." Fair enough. David extended his hand toward the barrier, a human gesture of agreement. And who knows, Empress, you might even learn to like us. As Elsa watched him leave, she found herself thinking that perhaps, just perhaps, the Deathworlders had something to teach the galaxy after all. It was a humbling thought for an Empress who had never known humility. But it was also, strangely, an exciting one. The galaxy had just become much more interesting.